All right, guys, I'm going to be super quick with this one. I'm just going to review one hand of a tournament that I just played in, $55 buy-in, and not super far into the tournament, probably about 8 levels in. Definitely not to uh, definitely not in the money yet, or not even close. So probably about 2 hours away from that, 2 to 3 hours. So on this hand, under the gun plus one opens for 2.2 and it's folded all the way around to small blind who just calls. In this position, I've got 22 big blinds. First, I wanted to ask you, what would you do in this situation? Would you jam? Would you re-raise? Would you call? Or would you fold? For me, this is way too tight to just fold. I think, especially when I'm given, let's see, about 1.68 to 1, that there's just so many good things that can happen to me on this that my pot odds are 100% there. So I call. And it frankly, if I had probably ace queen, ace king, yeah, I'm going to jam all day, every day. If I have ace jack, I might consider it. Ace 10, I would call. Ace 9, ace 8, ace 7, ace 6, etc. I would just call those. So flop comes out really good for me. And it is checked. Now, in this situation, would I check or would I bet? So, a little bit about these guys. This guy I've played with for a while. He's 28% RFI, which is pretty high. And you'll see from early position, he does about 33%. So, he's really splashy. Sure, when you're really splashy, you could hit this pretty hard. But I also have top pair, top kicker. And this guy, I don't know anything about yet, so I'm not even going to try to evaluate him, other than that there's what their stacks look like. So on this one, I very rarely donk. I donk probably 0% of the time, or very close to it when it's multi-way. This one, I decided to do this because one, I have top pair, top kicker, and it's a rainbow flop. There are going to be a lot of people who have a 7, who have an 8 that might decide to do something with it. If they have an overpair, well, congratulations. But ABC does not have an overpair. He just doesn't. And Protege could, but he's a really splashy player, so more than likely he's got ace jack, 10-8, something like that. So I decide to go for a decently chunky size and go for a little bit more than half pot and just frankly wanted to see what was going to happen with this. But yeah, I mean, I would never donk for a quarter or a third. If I'm going to donk, I'm going to donk hefty. And something really weird happens. This guy jams on me. So now you got to think about, all right, well, he's in the small blind. He called multi-way, but now it's heads up. And he's probably thinking that I'm pretty weak because I donked. But if he was even lightly paying attention, he would see that in this hour plus tournament, I never donked. And this is just not something that I do. But at the same time, he actually is new to this table. So maybe he's just trying to really push me around with something. I know he doesn't have an overpair. Is it possible he has an 8-7? Sure. Doubtful. Is it possible he's got trips already? It's possible. I'm banking he doesn't. My only concern is that he has a 6-5 right now. So, but I mean, I've got top pair, top kicker, so I think that there are plenty of draws that he could have, and I think he just might be pushing me around. So I feel probably 75% confident that I'm going to be calling him on this one. And this one, if oh, let's see, so looking over this, let's see. So he jammed for 20 bigs, putting that up about 21. And if I called for an additional 15, then so 15 by 36, I need about 40% equity to call on this, and I 100% have that. And frankly, I really think I'm ahead. I think there's probably a 75% chance I'm ahead. So I decided to call him. and you'll see that really the whole thing just breaks out pretty heavy. My only concern, of course, is if he had a straight draw, then it probably got there. Well, unfortunately, he was actually making a move on me. He may not know anything about blockers. He may have just thought that, hey, I've got a pair. That's really good. And I've also got a straight draw. So I've got equity on this guy. And actually, I'm curious if he did have equity on me. So let's pull up the good old trusty equity calculator and we'll find out. So I had ace nine off and he had sevens. So first off, he's definitely ahead, which that part's obvious. But then you've got a nine. Oh, where is it? Nine. No, come on. There it is. Okay, 956 that comes out. And let's calculate that. Yeah, see, I've got him dominated. I mean, like I said, if he was paying attention even lightly, then he would know that probably at minimum I have top pair. So at minimum, I've got him dominated 73% or probably even higher than that with the pair that he has. So the only way that this ever makes sense is if he's treating it as a blocker bet. But the thing is, when I only have another 15 big blinds to call, then I'm going to make that call almost every single time, especially with top pair or above, that he can't push me away with a blocker bet. If I've got, say, 60 big blinds and he puts in that big re-raise, then I might consider folding at that time. Or just maybe call and then if he jams on the turn, then I would probably fold in that situation. But it's just not the right time to make a blocker bet. He just ended up sucking out. He won on that one, which is obviously super frustrating. I would have loved to have 47 big blinds going deep into the tournament, but that's really what happened. So anyway, I wanted to get your guys' thoughts. Was this the right time to do a donk bet multi-way on the flop? Thanks, guys.